नाट्यकीर्तनं तत्र तत्र कृतमस्तकाञ्जलिं बाष्पवारि परिपूर्णलोचनं मारुतिं नमत राक्षसान्तकं बुद्धिर्बलं यशोधैर्यं निर्भयत्व अरोगता अजाड्यं वाक्पटुत्वं च हनुमत्स्मरणात् भवेत्. By the immense grace of our Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Maharanyam Shri Shri Muralidhara Swamiji and Madhvi Sati Sameta Shri Premika Vardhar Thakurji, we will hear Sundara, which shows us Shri Hanumanji's Vaibhavam and his exemplary bhakti to Rama. Hanuman was fondly called Sundara by his mother Anjani, and Valmiki Maharishi chose this name over others, as the Sundara Ganda is all about Hanuman's journey to Lanka to find Sita Mata. Sundaragand also shows us the power of Ramanama. Anyone who hears Sundaragand gets the phala, benefit of hearing the entire Ramayana.
Towards the end of Kishkinda Kand, all the monkeys were discussing about who could cross the ocean and reach Lanka to find Sita Mata. Jambavan reminded Hanumanji of his own prowess. He tells Charitram of Hanumanji. He was born as a son to Anjana Devi and Vayu in Anjanadri, and as a child he tried to swallow the sun. So he was hit by Indra's Vajrayudha. His father Vayu Bhagavan became so angry, and all the Devatas gave Hanuman so many boons to pacify his father. Then Hanumanji went and played pranks with the rishis. So they cursed him to forget all his powers until Rama Kainkaryam. After Jambavan reminding him of his powers, Hanumanji got up and showed his Vishwarupa. All the monkeys were surprised to see his Vishwarupa. Hanumanji walked towards Mahindra Parvata and started to climb on top of it. There are two ways Hanumanji could cross the ocean and go to Lanka. He could either swim or fly, but Hanumanji chose to fly instead of swim. He reached to the top of Mahendra Parvata. He sat down in a position in a position with one leg forward, one leg backward, and his tail coiled up. He looked at all the Vanaras and told them to keep chanting Ramanama until he comes back. All the monkeys chanted Rama 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 Rama.
Valmiki Ji says Hanumanji flies with such great humility. He thought I was an arrow of Rama. Rama Bana always hits the target and always comes back to Rama. So similarly, he thinks he will find Sita Mata and always come back to Rama. The ocean feels so joyful that such great devotee is crossing him.
Hanumanji then comes across this mountain called Mainaka Parvata. In those days, mountains used to have wings and they could fly. Imagine what would happen if mountains could fly and sit anywhere. Because of this, they were causing so much destruction. So all the Jivas went and prayed to Lord Indra. So Indra cut the wings of all the mountains. During this time, Mainaka mountain, which was a mountain at that time, was carried by the wind and dropped into the ocean, and he was saved from Lord Indra. And now this Mainaka mountain came out of the ocean and wanted to offer some fruits and a place for Hanumanji to rest, since he still has a long way to go to Lanka. He appears in front of Hanumanji and said he came to offer some food and some place to rest. But Hanumanji politely refuses and said no. He said, I cannot rest. My master Rama is sleepless and waiting to hear about Sita Mata, and I am in his service. I will not rest until I find Sita Mata. I will not get tired because of the love Lord Rama has for me. Mainaka understood Hanumanji's determination and dedication in Kainkaryam and left his way, and Hanumanji continued to fly to Lanka.
All the devatas were amazed and decided to test Hanumanji's determination. So they sent Nagamata called Surasa. She appeared in front of Hanumanji and said, "You can't cross this area, and whoever tries to cross it will become my food. So you will have to enter my mouth. I have a boon from Brahma." Hanumanji says, "Mother, I don't mind becoming your food." After finding Sita Mata and informing Ramachandra Prabhu, "Please let me go." But Surasa insisted Hanumanji to enter her mouth. Hanumanji increased his height to 10 yojanas. Surasa increased to 20 yojanas. Hanuman again increased to 30 yojanas. She became 40. Suddenly, Hanumanji became thumb-sized and entered her mouth and came out quickly. Hanumanji says, "Mother, I have fulfilled your wish and entered your mouth. Please let me proceed with my Kainkarya." Surasa became happy, but she was only testing Hanumanji and blessed him. So Hanumanji now continued to fly.
Now another Rakshasi, Simika, tried to pull down Hanuman by dragging his shadow down. Since Hanumanji is getting late, without any delay, he said "Rama, Rama, Rama, Rama" and entered her mouth. He tore her into pieces and came out. Finally, he overcame all of the ocean. He patted himself across the back and said, "Good job, Hanuman." He then takes a normal monkey from Vishwarupa as he was nearing, looks at the beauty of Lanka and was amazed.
Lankini was protecting Lanka like a security guard and stopped Hanumanji when he tried to enter. Hanumanji tried to ignore her and proceed. Lankini gave a punch to Hanumanji and he fell down. Hanumanji got up and just touched her with the tip of his finger and she fell down. Lankini gets up and tells Hanumanji, "Brahma had told me the day that I get hit by a monkey and lose, destruction begins for all the Rakshasas, and says, my job is over now. You can feel free to enter any time."
Hanumanji enters Lanka and reaches Ashokavana. He found a Kali Mandir, a pond, and saw a lady sitting under the tree. The moment he looked at her, he knew it was Sita Mata. When Hanumanji was thinking about going to talk to Sita Mata, he heard a loud noise. Ravana was coming with his wife and army. Hanumanji decided to be quiet and not go and talk now. Ravana comes straight to Sita Mata and tells her, "Rama cannot save you. He is not equal to me in any way. Agree to marry me." Sita Mata replied to Ravana for the first time so far in 9 months. She has never replied to him. She looked at him like a mother looking at her child. She felt compassionate and said, "Ananya Raghavenaham Bhaskarena Prabhayate." Just like sun and sun rays cannot be separated, I can never be separated from you, Rama. If you want your life to be spared, surrender to Sri Rama and he will forgive you. When Ravana heard that, he was ready to kill Sita Mata, but Ravana's wife stopped him.
Sita Mata desired to not live anymore in suppression of Rama. Imagine how Hanumanji felt at this time. He had to immediately save her now. Only thing that can save Bhaktas is Bhagavan Nama. So without any delay, Hanumanji starts to tell Rama Katha. When Sita Mata listens to Ramanama, she stops. Hanumanji comes in front of her and says, Amramadasa, Amramaduta. I have come in search of Sita Mata. He says that and does namaskaram. When he does that, she is convinced he is Ramaduta. Hanumanji picks the ring from Rama and says, Rama asked to show you this as mark of identification. The ring had Ramanama written on it. That little ring tells her so many stories. Sita Mata holds on to that ring. Having got Ramanama, she is immensely happy and forgot her sorrow for a moment.
Sita Mata gives her Chudamani as return identification and tells Hanumanji Rama will identify this Chudamani. Now that his work is done, Hanumanji decides to have a meeting with Ravana before returning. He starts destroying Ashokavana. When Ravana got this news, he sent some Rakshasas and ministers. But Hanumanji defeated everyone. When Indrajit came, he decided to surrender so that he can meet Ravana. They all tied him and took him to Ravana. He is asking Hanumanji, who are you? He replies, I am Sugriva's friend, Hanuman. Ravana then says, why did you destroy Ashokavana? Why did you hit my ministers? Hanumanji replies, I am Ramaduta. Give up the idea of marrying our Sita Mata. And if you think Rama is a mere human, you are wrong. He is Bhagavan. I wanted to show you. Even a monkey like me in Rama's army can destroy Lanka. When Ravana hears all this, he says, kill this Vanara.
Vibhishana interferes and tells Ravana, you cannot kill the messenger, but you could punish him because he has caused so much destruction. So they set fire on Hanumanji's tent. Hanumanji starts jumping to one house to another and set fire everywhere. Every house was burned except Vibhishana's house. He went back to Sita Mata and namaskarams to her and started his return journey back. And all the Vanaras celebrated his return.
He meets Ramachandra Prabhu and says, I saw Mother Sita and identified her from the compassion in her eyes. Ramachandra Prabhu was so happy to hear this and gives Hanumanji the raddest gifts anyone can ever get. He hugs Hanumanji. Ramachandra Prabhu feels he cannot give anything back for the love shown by Hanumanji. That is the greatness of devotion and service of Hanumanji.